lawyer, an engineer, any of the sciences, a dentist, a pharmacist, teacher, anything that would be a secure profession. I want to be an actor. So my dad said, he was great, he was a sweet, hard-working man who was a barber all his life. Not a stylist, didn't have a hair salon, he was a barber. He cut hair, that's what he did. He cut hair for about 65 years of his life. And he was very unsophisticated. And he said to me, what did I do? Did I just punch a button? Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. You were getting a computer? Back up. Back up. Unbelievable. We can't control this technology. We can't control it. It's taking over our lives. Anyway, my dad was a very unsophisticated man. When I told him I want to be an actor, he said, you'll be hanging around with gypsies and vagabonds. That sounded kind of interesting to me, actually. And then he gave me the only advice that my dad, really the only advice he ever gave me. He said, learn to play the accordion. You can always make a living with an accordion. I didn't take my dad's advice. The last movie that I saw before I left Boston was Shakespeare's Henry V, starring Laurence Olivier and directed by Olivier. Olivier was considered the greatest actor of his generation. And the theater where I did Awake and Sing there was a beautiful curtain. It was an embroidered curtain that was a forest scene on a cloth. And at the bottom of the curtain, it said, act well your part, there all honor lies. And it made a big impression on me. I thought, well, you gotta take this seriously. It's an art form, you gotta take art seriously in order to do honorable work. And then I go to see this movie, Henry V with Olivier, and there comes a point in the movie, in the story, when he's the King of England, and his troops tomorrow morning are going to fight the French at the Battle of Agincourt. And they're vastly outnumbered by the French. The French have a lot more people, a lot more men in their ranks. So the English are looking like they're going to take a beating. And King Henry goes out at night wearing a hood, just like Spock in Star Trek 3, actually. And he's disguised. He wants to know what his troops are thinking. So he goes out in the night to listen to what people are talking about, and he hears somebody say that they wish they had more men. And he says, what's he that wishes so? My cousin, Westmoreland? Nay, cuz, wish not a single man more. If we are marked to die, we are now to do our country loss. But if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. Whoa. There's that word again. Then he goes on to say, by Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear, such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most friendly soul alive. And I got chilled listening to him say that. I've got something going on here with this word. I've got to pay attention. And that was the last film I saw. I got on a train and left Boston to go to California. And I went to that great citadel of honor known as Hollywood. I got off the train. I moved into a rooming house where I share a room with 3 other guys. We each paid $6 a week. I got a job in an ice cream shop. I got my 8x10 glossy photographs, and I started knocking on doors of the agencies up and down Sunset Boulevard. And before too very long, it wasn't really, maybe within a year, I found myself on a soundstage acting in a film. I thought, wow, here I am. Not so bad. I've got my costume, I've got the makeup. There's the camera, there's the sound crew, there's the actors and the set, and here we are, we're making a movie. And I thought, oh, this is a great start. And to this day, I can't imagine why that job didn't propel me into stardom. It was a great project called Zombies of the Stratosphere. There we are. 3 of us came to Earth in a ship that staggered across the screen behind a trail of smoke. We landed, we stole a pickup truck and a couple of Colt 45 revolvers and announced we're going to take over Earth. There he is. Your favorite zombie. That's me. It is, it's me. Does it look like me? No? Who said that? Have you seen it?
Yeah.
You've seen Zombies of the Stratosphere? Amazing. Oh, amazing. That was followed by another great hit called Attack of the Brain Eaters. I don't have a picture for that one, I'm sorry. My career looked like it was swirling down the drain hole very fast. I went to work doing various jobs to support myself. I sold life insurance, I sold freezers, I worked in a pet shop, I did all kinds of stuff. And then I got a job that lasted 2 years, a 2-year job in the United States Army. And I'm standing in front of a desk, there's a corporal sitting behind the desk, he's got a typewriter, and he says to me, "What do you do in civilian life?" I said, "I'm an actor." "Oh, yeah, really?" "Yeah, I'm an actor, yeah." "What am I seeing you in?" "Zombies of the Stratosphere." Infantry. I spent 2 years in the Army. And I came out, when I came out, I was married, I had a child, and another one on the way. I was kind of busy. And I took a job at night. I had to work nights so I could, during the day, I could go out on auditions and interviews for acting work. And one night, I got a call to go to the Bel Air Hotel to pick up Mr. Kennedy. So, being from Boston, the Kennedy name meant something to me. And this was in 1956, you got to understand, hardly anybody knew him outside of Massachusetts because he had not yet had any national attention. So, I went to the Bel Air Hotel, and I asked for Mr. Kennedy. Doorman made a call, he said, "He'll be out in a minute." And sure enough, here came Jack Kennedy walking out of the hotel. And later that year, he spoke at the Democratic Convention, did a major speech, and he suddenly started to become a national figure. But this was early in '56. And he got in the cab, and he asked me to take him to the Beverly Hilton Hotel. It was a very short ride. And I said, "How are things in Massachusetts, Senator?" And he lit up. He was excited that somebody recognized him in California. And he said, "Are you from Massachusetts?" I said, "Yes." He said, "What part?" I said, "Boston, the inner city, West End." He said, "I know the area well," which of course I knew he did because his office on Beacon Hill was just about 3 or 4 blocks distance from where I grew up. So he said, "What are you doing out here?" "Oh, here I am." I said, "I'm an actor." And he said, "A lot of competition in your business." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, just the same as mine." You know? And then he said something to me that saw me through a lot of tough times. He said, "Always keep in mind, there's room for one more good one." So I said, "Thank you very much, that helps." And it did, because I dedicated myself to trying to be a good one. Not just an actor, but to be a good one, to really learn the craft. And I studied and I worked hard at it. But I'll never forget that night. And then gradually I began to learn my way, how to go about building a career as an actor. I was interviewed at Republic Studios, and producer said to me, "Do you ride?" I said, "No," he said, "not drive, do you ride horses?" I had never been on a horse. So I said, no, well, that's a big mistake. In Hollywood, you learn very fast. Whatever they ask you to do, you say, oh, I can do that. Sure. Could you drop 100 feet off the back of an ocean liner and fight a shark and get back on the boat? Of course. I've done that several times. Yeah. So, you always say, yes, I can do that. I can do that. And I went up and I learned how to ride, and then I did a bunch of westerns, among other things. I did Gunsmoke and Wagon Train and Bonanza and Rawhide with Clint Eastwood. I did all those western shows. As a matter of fact, here we go. That's the Army. That's me in the Army. Hi.
Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner.
I played a lot of Indians. I played Indian roles that Indians wouldn't play. There's Bill Shatner acting like a cowboy, and Jimmy Doolan, a laughing Indian, and DeForest Kelly, God bless him. The only one who looks authentic in this picture to me is D. Kelly. The rest of us look like we're faking it. Anyway, I did a lot of westerns. And a lot of other stuff. And then, around 1960, I was cast in a play in Los Angeles, a play called Death Watch. And for various reasons, because it was by an interesting playwright named Jean Genet, we had heard about, oh, well, what's that? Who said yay? You're the Zombies of the Stratosphere person. Say it again?
In your son's class.
Which film did you do?
Splendid. I adapted it for
Wow, it's amazing. Amazing. Well, Jean Genet, for those of you who don't know, was a very famous French playwright who wrote several plays that were highly controversial, and this particular one we produced in Los Angeles. And the movie industry people came to see it because they were curious about Genet, this crazy guy who was a thief, a criminal, whatever, who was a brilliant writer, who's been in and out of prisons all his life. They came to see it, and I got a great review in the Los Angeles Times, and I started working a lot after this play. This is the final scene. We made the movie in 1960. Well, the play was 1960. 4 years later, we made the movie. Vic Morrow directed, by the way. That's me standing in the middle, of course, and the guy on the right of your screen, wearing the uniform of a guard, is Robert Einstein, who I was able to cast later as the president of the Federation at Star Trek IV, the voyage home. Yeah. So this is the experience that kind of triggered everything. Suddenly I started to work a lot. It gave me a great career lift. I was in Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Dr. Killdeer, Perry Mason, and finally eventually the Lieutenant series, produced by Gene Roddenberry and starring Gary Lockwood. And when that episode was done, my agent called me and said Gene Roddenberry called and said he has you in mind for a part in a pilot that he's going to produce for a science fiction show.